show for you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the top of the order queue there. You aren't going to believe...
The following program is brought to you in living color.
Turn around to your right. I don't want to go into the sun, but I just want to...
Freedom! Keep your ear to the ground. Talking about the freedom! It's the best show. I give you freedom. Excellent!
Better? That's better. How the blooming devil are you guys and girls? Yes, it's Friday. Yes, it's Friday Night Live, and you are here for the next foreseeable future with me, your fun-loving kook himself, the Grom. That was a good start to the show, right? Well, hey, you know, you've got to have some technical issues. It seems like we've had some gremlins in the system for the past week. And we're not just talking on the technical side, we're talking on that mental side, but that is a story for another day. How the blooming devil are you? I hope you're tuned out of the working week and tuned in for that joyous period of time away from the grind that is known as the weekend. As always, it is awesome to see the usual suspects, as I like to call them. The live chat is here, and it's awesome to see you here blowing it up already before the show had even got started. You guys and girls were just firing off in there. So Friday night, cheers to you lovely people. As always, I will do my very best, and as I speak I will make the chat bigger for me to be able to see it. I will try my very best to keep an eye on what's going on, and if there is questions or things that take my amusement, I will try my very best to give you a shout out and comment and so forth on the video. But as you know, if you've been watching this for any amount of time, I am not great at being able to keep an eye on the chat and responding to the chat, as well as being the host of this amazing show. But I will try my best, and if I do not collar it this evening, I will be very much sure to go through the live chat after the live. So if there is any questions or anything, I will try my very best to bring them up in another show. On that note, as always, absolutely appreciate the hell out of you lot taking the times out of your Fridays, wherever you are or happen to be on this beautiful little thing we call planet Earth. It's an awesome thing. It's an awesome thing to see such a turnout of a Friday evening for me here in the UK, or whatever time it is wherever you are in the world, just to tune into the show. So appreciate the hell out of that. And whether you're watching live and just here and ready to rock and roll, or whether you are going to catch this up over the course of the weekend maybe, or even in the early part of next week, that appreciation reaches out to you too, because whether you're watching it now or after the fact, appreciate the hell out of you guys and girls taking the time out to tune into this little thing that we call the Friday Night Live, because again, if it wasn't for you lot, there wouldn't be much point in me doing it. Anyway, that's kind of the welcome and the stuff, you know, the important info. Hope you got your coffee or your cold brew or whatever it is, you're something to sup on while I talk and waffle away. I hope you're ready. I hope you're sat back comfy and ready for a show. The legendary Mr. Chris is already in the chat, and it was funny because I was actually going to comment on this and say the coffee guy will probably not be showing tonight, and I'm surprised because I think he's already at a party. just for you, dude. Because he was out with his lovely other half having a bit of a little party this evening. And as he's already said in the live chat, hello, I'm drunk. So cheers to you, Mr. Chris. I've got the good old-fashioned hard stuff. I'm much of a lover of the coffee, as you know. But it's very much good to see that our guests, our live community are celebrating the weekend. So yeah, that's a vibe. But the weekend is not quite yet upon us, which leads me into the first little conversation topic, which has been this past week. Now, normally I would go off on a little bit of a tangent about the fact of how it's been, or to be quite honest, I probably bored you throughout the course of the week in the vlogs, because you know what, guys and girls, just not been feeling it. Not been feeling the creativity. The negativity has been in like full effect. I've just been struggling. I've been struggling to keep my eye on the prize, stay focused and stay positive, and just keep pushing. Whether it's like switching on the television, whether it's dealing with individuals at work, wherever it is that I turn or face currently, it just seems to be draining those high-end frequencies that we all love and enjoy, of that positivity and that kind of go get it. So yeah, it's been testing. But the one thing that I have done in this past weeks, shall I say, because I'd be lying if I said I'd done it all this week. I've been binge watching television like there is no tomorrow. Now, if you know me, you'll know that I very rarely have the opportunity to watch television. And that's not even to mention finding stuff that I actually have a great interest in to be able to sit and then binge watch. But this last couple of weeks, the list is Fallout, Shogun, obviously mentioned that on the show before, Three Body Problem, and the latest one, Baby Reindeer. Now, if any of those names ring anything with you and you haven't seen them, go and watch them. I would give some warning with the Baby Reindeer because it's a little bit wonky to say the least. And I could go off on a complete tangent and just give you a Friday night exclusive that the latest internet thing at the minute, I wouldn't say trend, but the individual that is the real lady that was the stalker in the story, but the real individual, because this is based on a true story, guys and girls. So if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to say too much. All I will say is it involves a stalker and the internet. The powers of the detectives and the investigations have gone and found the actual, genuine, real person that was the stalker in real life, away from this TV adaptation. And yes, let's just say, you heard it here first. Watch this space, because that's going to lead to something completely mental and completely bonkers. And if you haven't seen the show itself, I would say watch, but with caution, because it's a little bit crazy. And then the pièce de résistance has obviously been the closure of Shogun. Absolutely disappointed, so gutted. I cannot stress to you. It's been fantastic watching. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And Monday was the last episode. And I almost wanted to put it off because I didn't want closure, but I had to watch it and it was awesome. So again, if you've not yet tuned into that, I would highly recommend it. It does break you away from the madness that is the current worldly news and gets you into a nice little samurai story. And I love me some samurai, so that's a vibe. And then to add the ice into the cake, if you haven't already seen it yet, a show called Gentleman, I believe on Netflix, which has been directed and I think written by, at least directed by Guy Ritchie. So if you were a Lock, Stock or Snatch fan, I can promise you, you will thoroughly enjoy this. It's been good viewing, and let's just say, again, a television show that I have absolutely binged as much as I possibly can of an evening while doing edits. And I tell you what, that amount of shows in the past maybe 3 weeks is probably the most television that I've watched in the last 5 years. So there you go. Have it. Have it as an overdose, a sensory overload, all in one hit. If you want to go and watch something this weekend and escape from the madness, any of those shows, highly recommended. So I've seen the chats far enough, and I can only imagine that if it was like the start of the show, it was just pure abuse. Because I have to say a huge thank you to the legendary Rick, the the founder of the Corn Life Network, because yet again he done a Fluff in the Grom show on his channel live on the run up to the Friday Night Live. So Rick, you're a legend. Thank you very much, dude. There was plenty of fluffing, and seriously, right about now, and I was only saying it to Andrea today, man, I don't think I need any more fluffing. I think the Grom needs a haircut, man. Like, how bad is that? Let me get all Casey Neistat on now. How bad is that? So, yeah. Grom needs a haircut. Anyway, the show, there is a schedule. There is a noteboard that you cannot see off camera. And there is obviously a hell of an amount of production that we have to stick to. Because, unfortunately, we're trying to do this whole schedule and spot on stuff. And I haven't managed to succeed yet. I've got 3 minutes. Do you reckon we can nail the news in that time? Good evening, and this is your Friday night weekly news with me, the Grom, Friday Night Live. So, it's coming up. If you are in the UK, there are plenty of votes coming up in the next little while. However, May the 2nd is, I don't know, I don't think it's general, but hey, Friday Night Live don't get deep in the politics, but we're getting deep in the politics. This dude, what a legend. Count Binface running to be Mayor of London in the May 2nd elections. This London candidate, Count Binface, says he would rename London Bridge, make Thames water bosses take a dip in the river, and claims that he has never heard of his Tory opponent, Susan Hall. The self-described intergalactic space warrior, who says he is 5,072 years in Earth years, is running to be London Mayor on May 2nd, and he says he has not ruled out standing against Rishi Sunak at the general election. Speaking outside of Parliament, the Count outlined his flagship policies for the capital, including renaming London Bridge after Phoebe Waller-Bridge, price capping croissants at £1.10, and granting grade 1 listed statues to Claudia Winkleman's Fringe. So yeah, this guy's a legend, and I'll get back to that one after the news, but yeah, dude, he's got my vote. So we all know it, that beautiful screech, squawk, and just abuse that you suffer while you're trying to relax at the seaside. If you've ever been on UK shores, you will be familiar with the amazing seagull. But who knew that there was a competition of making that noise? A 9-year-old British boy has won an international seagull screeching competition with his uncanny impression of the bird. If you haven't seen this, heard about it, you heard it here first, guys and girls. You know we bring you the best in news. Go and check the internet. This kid's impression, I should have recorded a clip and got it up. His impression of a seagull is absolutely spot on. Cooper Wallace initially irritated his parents with his impersonations, but he is now a champion of Europe thanks to his unusual talent. My school friends thought it was annoying at first, but now I did it. The youngster from Derbyshire said proudly. So yeah, this kid, I didn't even get his age. He's a young'un, but I tell you what, his future is going to be strong, and his impression is gnarly, man. It's out of this world. Moulin Rouge. You might know it for the movie. You might know it for the legendary track released in the late 90s, I think now. Or you might actually know it for its original meanings in life, something like that. Anyway, the iconic windmill is no more, guys and girls. Kind of tragic. The windmill blades of the Moulin Rouge, the most famous cabaret club in Paris, have fallen off. The red blades, part of the windmill mounted on the roof of the iconic Paris building, fell to the ground overnight in the early hours of Thursday. The Moulin Rouge is 135 years in history, has experienced many adventures, but it is true that for the Wings, this is the first time that has happened. General manager Jean-Victor I had to get one word like stuck, didn't I? Celerico said, a little bit before 2 a.m., the wings of the windmill gave way, fell on the boulevard, and fortunately, at this time, the boulevard was empty of passers-by. There were no reports of injuries, and the first 3 letters of the club's name, the large part of the neon sign at the front, were also missing on Thursday. So basically, like, the whole front of the club has come down. So there'll be a little bit going on at the Moulin Rouge and not its standard issue. But yeah, tragic, man. Kind of iconic. We'll have to see if they repair it. If I hear any more news, I'll get back to you on it. But that was Friday Night Live, and that was the Friday Night Live news. Did we do it? Did we hit the spot? We run 2 minutes over. Did you get the sense of urgency? Did you get the sense that I was trying to hammer my way through that news this week? One of these weeks, I will land it on the hour mark and we can say, and that was the 11 o'clock news. One day, guys and girls. And when we do it, you will know and I will celebrate muchly. I might even down the mug of coffee afterwards. But going back to the news story. Now, you know that Friday Night Live news stays well clear of politics as such. However, I am proud to announce that the Friday Night Live news, we are supporters of Count Binface. Yes, it's official. There should have been a cheer there, really, shouldn't there? Do you not think? Are you getting a cheer? Yes, I think so. Count Binface, what an utter legend. There was a few other random little things that he said that he's going to bring to the table. One of them being at least providing one affordable house. And just, it was carnage. The guy is completely making a mockery of it. And the genius, I can't remember his name, he's basically a comedian that is behind this character. And fair play to him. Dude, you have the Friday Night Live's backing. So I want to see Count Binface as the mayor of London. And why not, man? Go all the way, dude. You go running. Go and get after Richie Sunak. We'll support you as best as we can. And do everything that we can to try to bring as much light to the legendary Count Binface as possible. So if you're watching, if you're here now or after the fact, go and check him out. Go and blow him up on your social medias. Say the Friday Night Live supporting him. And hey, who knows? Here's a thought. Wouldn't it be awesome if we could get him on the Friday Night Live as a guest before May the 2nd? Or possibly afterwards, but either or. If he wins, I think he'll be too much big news to be on our little show. But hey, you heard it here first. If there's any internet shows, live shows that are supporting Count Binface, I'd like to think maybe we were the first people to vocalise it. Who knows? You might have been here on a monumental moment. But nevertheless, we don't want to forget about the legendary party that was the Monster Raving Loony Party, which I had the utmost respect and admiration for. And if you've never heard of them, if you don't happen to live in the UK, go and check them out on the internet, because some of their, I can't think of the name for when they give out their, like, it's not their regime, but they're like, their bullet points of what they're going to do. Dude, they were monumental. So I'm really hoping that Count Binface goes that little extra bit further and makes a stand, because I hate to say it, but I'd rather see Count Binface in charge than most of the other people that possibly could get the opportunity. Who knows? Maybe even Count Binface for global president of the world. He might even get the Grom as like an assistant something. I'll just be assistant pimp. Sounds good to me. What do you reckon? If you like it, smash the thumbs up, give a little comment in the live and say, yeah, Martin or the Grom for like assistant pimp and Count Binface for like professional global president of the world. No, we have not lost our marbles, but it's just been that kind of week where, yes, I feel like the world needs a little bit of change, and I think Count Binface is the man for the job. So, you know what we haven't done so far this week? And you know what I have been wanting to do so much. So, I think it'd be rude if we don't, and I will apologise already. Because, basically, I'm going to be using the clips that I didn't get to work last week, that you all heard the audio from, but you didn't see the visual gold. So, let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can get it semi-right. It's a segment that I just want to work so bad, but in all fairness, the fact that it is bad, I think makes it work. Who blooming knows? It's all good fun, isn't it? Yeah, surf report time, guys and girls. Grom's looking sexy with his hair, man. Let me sort the camera out. I could be real rough and like sketchy. What do you reckon? Yeah, let's go like there or something. I still didn't think it through though, did I? Sunglasses indoors with minimum light. Let's turn the hat that way so you can get the full branding. Oh yeah. So we've got some stuff lined up for you. We've got a little surf report. And let's get for it. Let's get some, shall we? So, I did have the monumental, the legendary Billy supply me, hook me up with some spots. But Billy, dude, brother, I let you down, bro. I went different. I went bigger. I was looking for humongous. And seriously, for you, the people living in the UK, this might suck, but you might be one of those jet setters that just chases down the swell, like true swell hunter. Who knows? If you happen to be in Chile this weekend, it's seriously firing. When I looked at the surf report and basically all of that coastline, all of it this weekend is like super clean to like good to fair to awesome. It's like double overhead. Some of the reports on this were insane. I picked this one little spot which was claiming like, I don't know, 12 foot. I don't know if you guys and girls can see that. It's a bit small in it. Let's see if we can change this up. I'm having issues with a load of things, but never mind. The show must go on and all that jizz. Is that a little bit better? Can you see that? Oh, 1 to 3 foot here at Coco. Dude, you're living your best lives, but that's not 12 foot overhead. That's what I'm claiming. That's some real surf vibes. So, moving on. San Sebastian in Spain. And again, it's gone a little bit wonky, but hey, man, this is like a surf report. We don't care. Is absolutely looking pretty sweet, man. And this isn't a million miles away from me, but if you in the UK and you're trying to get there, it's going to be like, let's get on a plane now. And if you're getting tickets, send me one as well, right? It looked pretty tidy, actually. Tomorrow, I'm thinking it's claiming like a few feet. What was it, 5 to 6 foot or something? See, the font that I've got here is so small, I can't even goddamn see it. I don't know. I should just look here and it's like, be cool. Let's see if we can get one of these clips rolling, right? Because that was the fun and games that we wanted to get. Nobody needs to look like this, right?
I just want to get away! Maybe tomorrow? No! I want to get away now!
Dude, you know that's how I'm going to be this weekend. I've been this weekend like this ever since the last time I went surfing, where I just need that little fix, don't I? I just need that little bit, man. And all I can say is that since I haven't been surfing, I've been super bummed out, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, bringing it somewhat slightly closer to home. I'm going to take these sunnies off because I can't see a goddamn thing, and I think the hat just does well with the laid. I need to pan that camera out a bit, but we'll work on that next week. North Fistral Beach, keeping it sort of semi-serious, is actually looking pretty tidy this weekend. So if you are in that area, and I do know that there are a couple of viewers of the vlog that are down that area, and I think they've already been to Fistral and now they're traveling back to Bristol. So I hope they got some good surf. But let's just say this weekend, that looks pretty tidy. Let's just say tidy, unlike this.
And I hope the camera's rolling because you're going to want to watch it over and over and over and over again.
Nobody needs to be
It's
this
going to
person,
be awesome.
Yeah, that is me all over, guys and girls. Anyway, so the biggest spot this weekend is Chile. But you know the score. Madness is truly real. And that was your surf report. Little bit rough around the edges, man. I need to do something with that camera and get it a little bit panned out so we can get the clips bigger. The sad thing is, at the minute, I'm trying to get those like surf reports, but I just don't think they do justice because I need them to almost be landscape or a little bit smaller. So one, I can actually see them this end, but mainly you can see them that end. I was even, and check this out, this was big for me. I was looking at satellite pictures and reports, and it was showing me swells and stuff, and I was going to show you all that, but there's just no fun in it. And I think maybe going forward, the surf report might end up just being random kooky clips from the week of surfing, along with maybe a surf report. I don't know. You'll have to... I might even set up a Q&A at some point on that whole topic, because I want to do a surf report. I love that little intro, even though I'm blowing smoke up my own bottom on that one. I did make that, and I don't know if you guys and girls are even aware of that, but that whole little surf intro is all the Grom. All of the intros, all of the segments, cutaways, whatever you want to call it, is all me. So if I, I'm free to work. If you ever need any help, call the Grom. Something like that. Anyway, yeah, madness. Truly real, man. I want to get that surf report to work. So, another little segment, and we're going straight into it, because if you've been watching the vlog this week, you'll notice that there's been a lot of thinking. And I know a couple of guys that are in the live already that have seen the episodes from this week. The coffee guy himself was a bit like, dude, I can't even get my head around what you're saying. It was in relation to social media and stuff. Yeah, Grom's head's been like elsewhere, dude. Proper out of the box completely. And it basically stemmed from a dream that I'd had and woken up, and I'd been left with this burning kind of really sweet philosophical 2 sentences, if that, but it was just real simple. It was like, if we keep sharing ourselves, there will be nothing left of us to share, or something like that. It was like really like, wow. Basically, the point being is, I'm not going to go into it too much. You'll have to go and watch the vlog if you want to see exactly what I was trying to get across. But I heard this quote from the legendary Alan Watts, which is, we are the eyes of the cosmos. Now let's just meditate on that for a second. We are the eyes of the cosmos. If we work with the principle that we are all one great consciousness and energy or force or being, whatever, however you wish to try to describe this wonderful little sensation that we call reality, we potentially wouldn't know if this world existed if it wasn't for our senses and our experience within this experience. So then therefore, that statement really kind of blew my mind with the fact that, yeah, we are all individually the eyes of the cosmos. We are that seeing energy. We are that being energy. We are that living, existing, experiencing thing. Yeah, we'll keep it Grom. We'll keep it Friday night. Which then led me to think about social media in a really deep subconscious way, because it worked its way into my dreams. Yes, this is the kind of place where the head of the Grom goes to in his sleep time. And I woke up pondering the thought of how, especially in the last little while, social media seems to be like the highlight reel. It also seems to be the fact that whereas beforehand there was like loads of promotional kind of, it would be me sharing you or you sharing your friend, and like people just sharing, and it just be a vibe, and people like almost shining the light on others. And now, just recently, more and more I see it being so heavily self-promoting. It's something that, again, I don't like doing. I try and then I just feel bad for doing it, which is a bit mental, especially because I do like a Friday Night Live and I do a vlog. How like there's irony, I think, in that, and it's kind of almost hypocritical of me to be like, yeah, you know, self-promote. Dude, I just video myself. I don't really promote, and I must admit, in the last little while, I've even started to grow sort of a little bit feeling grotesque about the vlog, in that sense of it's just like, is it vain? These are the questions that I ponder of an evening. And it's kind of crazy in the fact that if we continue to share ourselves, but we're only sharing outward and we're not really consuming, it basically turns everybody in the world into a broadcaster with no viewers. And I sort of thought, there's also an extent of how much any one thing can share. And I'm sure if you're sat here now watching this, you'll be thinking to yourself, yep, there's been plenty of times where, especially recently, I've seen one person share something, a quote, a meme, a funny clip, and before you know it, other accounts that are like-minded are sharing the same clip. And it sort of does this, it's almost like being rickrolled, if you're familiar with that term. I just feel like, how far can some one piece of content be shared? Especially when it comes down to memes or like quotes. Like, I've never seen anybody post that quote saying, "We are the eyes of the cosmos." But I can guarantee once it does get shared, it will just be shared and shared and shared, and then it will die a death, and then it will be resurrected at some point, a couple of years down the line, when it becomes trendy again. But it's an interesting thought. So it'd be interesting even more so to find out how you feel, especially while I have you lovely people all tuned in. And what do you think? What do you think about the essence of almost what I would consider to be oversharing? I don't know. I noticed a lot of comments were pinging off, and I'm going to have a little look here to see. Got catch up to do. No worries, Mr. Cogni Buddha. I didn't want to say too much because I know that you would. Corn Life's like, dude, you lost me. Most definitely, Dave Busan. Social media can be what you make it. Yeah, most definitely. Put out what you want to share. So I completely agree with what everybody said there, in the sense of, if we're looking at the internet or social media, because that kind of crosses over, if we're looking out there as individuals to consume information or to find factual stuff, information yet again, I suppose, that's one thing. But I'm talking on the level of, like, especially with the platforms such as Instagram or Twitter, where there is kind of like, there are informational pages that you can go and find, and you could see news updates, and you can follow what is currently being invented, invested in, Bitcoin, stocks, shares, markets, sports. There is like a whole plethora, I think that's the correct term, of information that you could consume. However, on a personal level, when we're looking away from maybe business accounts and companies that I would expect to be promoted, when I look at individuals, it just seems to be like, you either go one end of the spectrum where you're kind of like, hey, look at my food. Isn't this nice food? Or look at this place that I went to. Now, maybe I need to consider this and maybe word it better. But think of it like this. If you were sharing that stuff because you wanted it as memories, why would you need to upload it to any one space or put it out to the world to consume? If you were putting it out in the world to have it be seen, then in some reason you're doing it over just keeping it to consume, if you know what I mean, or to store. I don't know. It's a heavy thought, and maybe it's a little bit too deep, and maybe I haven't explained it well enough for a Friday night. But nevertheless, it kind of leads us nicely to our next segment anyway, because you know the score. I've done it for a little while. Let's get some.
I do not believe in the name of sanity.
Yes, in the name of sanity. Humans can't walk in a straight line without looking at something. Ketchup was used as a medicine. Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. Australia is wider than the moon. Rats will laugh out loud if you tickle them. Boeing used potatoes to test their in-flight Wi-Fi. Wombats do cube poos. And your brain hides your nose. Yes, you heard it here first. Yes, you know the score. And yes, the madness truly is real. I hope you enjoyed those mental facts this week. Again, please, I do not want to be a sharer of misinformation, so I highly recommend, if you do want to get to the bottom of those and find out if wombats do cube poos, go and search it. As we were just talking before that segment, the information is out there. You just have to be willing to go and find it. But yes, the madness truly is real. So, it's kind of gnarly, because I tell you what, this week I very nearly didn't do a Friday night show. I'm shocked because I don't think I've got like a no, I've got excellent. I've got crowd laughing. I've got awesome cheers, but I don't have a sigh. I need a sigh, don't I? Like a big crowd. Yeah, I so nearly didn't do a Friday Night Live this week. If you are one of the many viewers that looks quite closely to find for the Friday Night Live post, so you can smash the little notify me for when we go live, you wouldn't have seen it until quite late on this evening. I did come home from work and I did pretty much knuckle down and get what I could do together to just bring you a show this evening. And it was one of those things where if you'd asked me earlier on in the week, I'd pretty much got to the point where I was like, as mental as it sounds, I am very concerned about the value that I bring to you lovely people. And I know that there's a lot of viewers that would sit there and say, no, we love it. It is part of our Friday night. And I hope that is the case. Because, yeah, just from my point of view, I'm like, oh. Again, I think it's where my brain's been at with social media. Because sort of thinking to myself, hey, man, is it vain of me putting the vlog out daily? Am I just trying to reinvent the wheel every 24 hours? Pretty much am. And I don't want to do that in the essence of, am I just trying to reinvent the wheel on a Friday night? I'm trying to bring back good fashion 90s TV, but who blooming well knows? Let's just say a network hasn't come in banging on my door saying, we want to buy the Friday Night Live just yet, but we could keep dreaming, right? But it isn't something that I want to make you guys feel like I don't have love for it or I don't believe in it, because I do. There has been kind of an overwhelming sense of maybe the Grom needs to take a step back to reevaluate the situation and find that next level. Because I think sometimes if you're too close to any one thing, the perspective is lost, and therefore you need to take that little step back, reevaluate the situation, and maybe create a greater plan to tackle something ahead. Which doesn't mean to say you need to spend a whole heap of time planning, because sometimes it's best to move instead of stop and look. But I do feel like, I don't know, there's a few little things, like I've been trying to get people to kind of reach out for like the shine a light, and that fell a little bit flat. I was quite surprised. There was only a handful of people in the course of history of 37 shows. Yes, 37 shows, you heard it, that have reached out to say, hey. And it's kind of weird because you're like, oh man, I just want to do something positive and shine some positivity on like a really negative vibe. And it's interesting because, again, it just goes to show how demanding lifestyles are these days, which then in turn made me feel very much about like, am I demanding too much of my viewers? Am I taking too much of their time? And am I delivering them enough value in return? Because time is very pricey these days. And am I just giving you all enough content and enough laughs and maybe enough fun to realise, like, hey, the week's over, Friday Night Live's on, let's get amped for the weekend. Because predominantly, guys and girls, that is the underlying essence of this show. And you know what? A few times I've just not felt stoked enough to be kind of like super hyped, super over the top and being like, come on, man, let's get fired up, Grom. Let's get some coffee in us and let's give these lovely people a show. And that's the level of enthusiasm and let's just say, I don't use this word very often, professionalism. Oh, there's been some words this evening. Plethora and professionalism. Oh, Jesus, on a Friday at 11:30. Grom's doing well. But it is one of those things where the last thing I would ever want to do is bore you lovely guys and girls. So it's not one of those things where I want like, not confirmation, but I'm not like, oh no, it's just one of those things that I wanted to be very open, transparent and honest with you lovely people, because I think that is the least that I can do for you because of the amount of time, support and love that you give me in return. So I appreciate the hell out of it. Let's just have a little look at what the comment section is doing, because it has been firing off in the background and I'm loving it, man. Insecurities, yes, most definitely, Mr. Cockney Butter. Sometimes I do think it is the internal saboteur. However, if I'm brutally honest, in the same breath, man, I do run on fumes. Let's just say that. I do spread myself rather thin. I am currently doing so much in the background, it hurts. And another little saying that I heard, it was like a meme, and I'll probably not word it very well, but I'd rather die after biting off more than I can chew, rather than basically dying hungry. I was like, ooh, yeah. However, there's a limit to that. Do you know what I mean? The madness is real. So, PPA, yes, most definitely. And that is kind of where I'm heading with that vibe, dude. Sometimes you just got to like check self, you know? Self is really important. Much appreciation for the shows. Thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate the hell out of you saying that, dude. What else? Keep pushing. Overthinking again. Yeah, Dave. And this is, right, just, you know how like, I can't think of the terminology for casting blame. Like, it's the complete opposite of extreme ownership. Dave, I blame you. I don't have my counsellor therapist at work with me. Just because you're off, you know, swanning around having chemo and bloody things removed from your body. How very dare you? We love you really, dude. And I would just like to take that second to wish you all the best with all of your hospital appointments and medicines and just treatments. I hope it's all going well, and we really do, well, actually, there are actually a few people that really do keep pushing me to say, have you spoken to Dave? How is he? How's he doing? And please let him know when you speak to him next that there are a few good people at work that are thinking of you and you are on their mind. So there you go. There's a little bit of Friday night love for you, Mr. Dave. And I most definitely missed the absolute hell out of you. And I wish you a speedy and like 100% recovery. And yeah, I need you back so I can keep brainstorming, dude. Like, I don't think I've ever said it, but if I'm honest, as much as it's my brainchild, you guys and girls probably would never understand the amount of conversation that me and the legendary Dave Usan have had, and me running ideas past him and just things. And sometimes that's really nice. And it's been greatly missed, my friend. It really has. Who else have we got? Sloth can hold its breath longer than a dolphin. Yeah, dude. That's pretty gnarly, right? I know. I need to go and fact check it, but it seemed to be like an unbelievable fact. So it's possible. Dave was saying, I'll be back. Yeah, I know you will, dude. Pause, refocus. It's always a good idea. Accomplish more by doing less. Salute that, dude. That's like full, exactly what I'm kind of contemplating. You know, detach, assess, execute, full Jocko vibes. I Need Money. If anybody's familiar with the amazing movie that is How High, what's his name? I Need Money. Why is that? I see him. He said to me, I need money. Yeah, I need to drag that clip up, man. If only I had that clip on standby for that comment. I need money. Don't we all? Guys and girls, it's been a pleasure. I hope you've had a fantastic week. I hope you're looking forward to a fantastic weekend ahead. Don't worry about me. Yes, we will be back next Friday. And if I've said it, then I will be, because there's no way that I wouldn't say it and not. Have an awesome weekend. Most of all, look after self. Take time to relax, unwind, gather your thoughts. Importantly, find yourself a passion or something that you I haven't got it right, have I? It's not a passion. A burning desire, an idea, a specialist skill or a specialized skill. And what's the last one? I've forgotten it. Imagination. So if you're not aware and you didn't see last week's show, I mentioned about the book Think Rich and Grow Rich. And that is the 4 key points that you need. So think about those. Ponder those. Ponder those as a point of moving forward to success, because I wish you all the best. As always, stay focused, stay positive, and just stay awesome. Get out there and get after it. And I'll see you back here next weekend, Friday night, 10:45-ish GMT. YouTube, me, another coffee. Sounds like a plan. Until then, stay safe, do some awesome stuff as long as it's not hurting anywhere else. And as always, appreciate the hell out of you taking the time to tune in. Till next week.